Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I am super excited to come to you live today and just want to pour some love out on you on this Wednesday. And, I kind of feel like the motivation for me doing these Facebook lives is because I feel like our world is such in a place of lack of hope. And there are so many people that just are down in the dumps and just really lack hope. And that's why I love what I do, is because I can bring some people hope and clarity and love on them and just show them that there are other options and there are ways out of the dark dumps. So that's really my purpose in doing this today, and hopefully these will continue. So, today we're going to jump into talking about sleep. So, by the way, I'm Carrie from Ignite Life Health and Wellness Coaching. I am a certified health coach and a certified life coach. And so let's talk about some sleep tips. First of all, how are you sleeping? And, are you sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night, getting good rest? Or are you having a hard time falling asleep? Are you falling asleep easily, but maybe waking up in the middle of the night and can't go back to sleep? Are you sleeping all night, but waking up feeling groggy? What is it that, how are you sleeping? So let's talk about why sleep is important, and then we'll talk about the tips there. So sleep is super important. First of all, because it was modeled for us by God that we need to sleep. So if he slept or rested, he made all the earth in 6 days, the heavens, the earth, the waters, the land, the plants, the animals, the humans, and then he rested. Well, we need to rest too. Let's use him as a role model for ourselves. And we need to rest because there's some very important things that happen inside our body while we are sleeping. And one of the most important things is that our body is detoxing, and specifically detoxing our cells. So what happens during the day when we're up and we're awake, there's our cells are constantly, they have receptors that constantly take things in. And some of those things are good and some of those things are toxic. So while you sleep, the cells kind of clean themselves out. And if you're not sleeping enough, then the cells don't have enough time to get all the gunk out, and there's some left behind. Well, after a day or so of not sleeping well, you're not going to have that big of a problem. You're going to be fine. But if this were to happen consistently, then you're going to start having problems. You might get sick. You might get a cold. That might be, just a simple cold sickness. Or it might be even more severe, even something as severe as cancer. You could get cancer simply from not sleeping because your cells are holding into all those toxins. And if this goes on for a really long time, then you could end up with something even like dementia or Alzheimer's, simply because your brain has so much stuff in there and your pathways, your neural pathways are not working properly because they're all clogged up. And so you're going to start forgetting things, and you're going to start, like going places you don't know, why did I come into this room again? So sleep is super important for not only your health today, but your health long term. So let's talk a little bit about some ways to help you sleep better. And I have 3 tips for you today. And the first one is a power down hour. So what that is an hour before you want to go to bed is turning off all electronics, television, cell phones, iPads, Kindles, whatever, all electronics turned off an hour before bed. And what you're going to do during that hour. I know some of you are thinking like, holy cow, what do I do for an hour before bed without my cell phone? Oh my gosh. But what you're going to do is you're going to do some gentle, relaxing activities to get you ready for bed so that when you do lay down, you fall asleep easily and quickly. So some of those activities might be a hot bath or some gentle yoga, doing a devotion, prayer, meditation, maybe even reading a book. It would need to be a paperback book. But those are just a few ideas of things that might be great for you in your power down hour. Now, the reason we want to turn off all the electronics is because electronics emit blue light. And this blue light tells our brain that it's daytime. So if we are using our cell phones right up until bedtime, then our brain still thinks that it's day. And in addition, this blue light prevents our brain from producing the hormone called melatonin. And melatonin is what we need to sleep through the night. So if your brain is not producing melatonin, then you're probably not going to be sleeping as well, and you're going to wake up feeling groggy. And that's why we want to turn off all the electronics so that our body can begin producing that melatonin before we actually get to the bed, so that when we get there, we're ready to fall asleep. So that's a little bit about the power down hour. The second tip I have today is doing a brain dump. So some of you might have a brain that runs like a train. I call that train brain. And this happened to me multiple times. If you are super stressed or you have so much going on, you're anxious and, oh my gosh, I've got so much to do, you're probably not going to fall asleep very easily. So what I recommend is going in a different room other than your bedroom and getting a journal or a piece of paper and just writing down every single thing that comes to your mind. Work, gotta mow the yard, gotta go to the dentist, gotta get to the hairdresser, whatever it is that's on your mind. I want a pizza, whatever it is, write it down on this piece of paper and leave it in that other room. And then when you get to bed, your brain is like, oh, okay, well, I've thought of everything. Now I can rest. And if you lay there and you're still thinking about more things, get up and go write them down in that paper, in the other room on that paper, and leave them there. And do that until you've thought of everything. And several times when I have done a brain dump, it has almost been like my to-do list for the next day or the next week. And it's kind of helpful for those of you who like lists and like to be able to check things off, like me. It can be helpful to do a brain dump, not only to calm the train brain, but also for this list of things that need to get done. All right, so that's the brain dump. The third tip I have is to use some essential oils to help you sleep. Now, essential oils have been amazing and transformative for my personal sleep habits. Several years ago, I was having some severe anxiety and depression, and I was not sleeping very well. And I'm one of those people that if I don't get at least 8 hours of sleep, I am Groucho-rama the next day. So that's not fun for anybody. So during that time, I was taking Tylenol PM every single night so that I could sleep, so I wasn't a grouch. And obviously Tylenol PM every single night is not going to be good for your body. And so I started using some essential oils, and they were working for me just as well as the Tylenol PM. So I found a Carrie sleep concoction that works splendidly for my body. And what it is it's some lavender, Breathe from doTERRA, and cedarwood. So those three oils together are Carrie's Magic Sleep Concoction. And I put that in my diffuser, as well as I have a little roller bottle, and I roll it on the bottom of my feet and also behind my ears each night before I go to bed. And it works for me just as well as a Tylenol PM. Now, the cool thing about essential oils is that there's so many options out there that you don't have to use Carrie's concoction. If it doesn't work for you, then try something else. There's 100 different things out there that you could try, and you can experiment and find your own personal sleep concoction. So that's why I love essential oils so much, because, well, first of all, they work, and they're safe for my body, not toxic like Tylenol PM is, and well, it helps me sleep. So those are my 3 tips. And I had someone post a question, Heather posted a question about getting into bed and freezing and then waking up sweating in the middle of the night. And so I also have that issue occasionally. My husband says that I have the coldest hands and feet and tush in all of creation. And I will agree with that on most days. And so getting into bed and being so cold is obviously not the best way to fall asleep. So what I might recommend is to try to elevate your internal body temperature just the littlest bit before you get into bed. And you can do that by taking